During the research phase for episode 2, conflicting information was discovered regarding the last name of Travelle Martin's girlfriend, Emily. Specifically, two different surnames, Whitney and Shield, had been cited across various social media platforms. As I have been unable to independently verify the accuracy of either last name throughout this series and to maintain editorial integrity, I will refer to Travelle's X by Emily. I'm Kiana Canada, and this is Charlotte Croom's Right to Truth, an online inquiry into a Black mother's fight for truth, an investigation that seeks to uncover the disputed events of a cold winter night where her son's remains were found in an area she and her neighbors had already searched, testing the official police account. Yesterday, Charlotte Croom sat with all possible memories of her son, Travelle Martin. Whatever happened to Travelle was a deep and painful wrong done to him. It was an injustice. In a message Charlotte shared with her community on Facebook, her online voice was clear as it was unwavering. There had not yet been justice for Travelle. That justice, Charlotte stated in the same post, must begin with witnesses. Who was the last to have seen Travelle alive? Ms. Croom's questions and perspectives is grounded in a fundamental right to truth. Justice for the Croom family begins with departmental transparency, holding formal inquiries with every person who believes they saw Travelle or who possesses any information regarding his whereabouts before he disappeared. It must also be remembered that the Croom family possesses an inherent right to know the exact circumstances that led to Travelle's untimely death. In the United States, the search for the truth is undergirded by the Constitution. For instance, the 14th Amendment explicitly states, quote, "No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States," end quote. In light of this fact, the U.S. Constitution and international human rights law protects not only the Croom family, their legal counsel, and any person dedicated to assisting, or it also protects any person assisting them in uncovering the facts from threats and or intimidation. But to understand where we are, we must return to the woods. The facts we have are these. Travelle left his girlfriend's home and law enforcement followed. This is where the trail becomes pale. How many officers were actually following Travelle that night? And perhaps most importantly, did any of those officers make physical contact with Travelle? On 6 January 2026, Pennsylvania journalist Tom Rader published a press release to his Facebook feed. It confirmed that skeletal remains had been located off of Lakewood Drive in Flying Hills development within Cumru Township. After digging further, I found a YouTube video from WGAL News that stated a person who was walking their dog discovered the remains on or around Lakewood Drive. If we re-examine the Berks County District Attorney's press release as shared by Tom Rader, we all see that it states, quote, "It was determined after the examination that the individual was identified as Travelle Martin, who was reported missing since January 2025, end quote. The finding of the remains on land in a wooded setting may offer the Croom family a measure of relief, suggesting Travelle's death did not end in drowning. To be sure, at the time I published this video, no report stated that the remains were recovered from a lake, found submerged in a lake, or even located on the bank of a body of water. There is no evidence in any report suggesting that anyone swam in a lake, discovered remains at the bottom, or brought them to the shore. The narrative of a water-related death does not appear at this moment to be supported by the current facts. At this stage of the examination, based on the location of the remains, it seems safe to conclude that Travelle Martin may not have drowned. But if Travelle didn't drown, we are left with a necessary question. What actually happened in those woods? The lack of clear information on the circumstances of someone's disappearance gives rise to rumor and conjecture. An atmosphere of rumor or conjecture serves no person. It does not benefit the Croom family in their grief, nor does it help the Berks County District Attorney's Office in maintaining public's trust. Here, it may help for us to look at this disappearance again through the lens of international standards. The United States is a signatory to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, an instrument that should impel it to protect the right to life of all Americans and any person within its jurisdiction. Indeed, Article 6 of the ICCPR is explicit. Every human being has the inherent right to life, one that must be protected by law. This protection is universal. No one, including Travelle Martin, should ever be deprived arbitrarily of their life. I must be clear. I am not asserting at this very moment that a specific perpetrator took Travelle's life. I am simply looking at a framework of accountability. If it is found that his life was taken, Article 6 should work in tandem with U.S. domestic laws protecting Travelle against the arbitrary deprivation of his life. The prohibition of arbitrary taking of life connotes that Travelle should not have been deprived of his life in an unreasonable or disproportionate circumstance. While it may be uncomfortable for the audience to hear this sublateral predicament, it goes to relevance. If law enforcement did allow Travelle to perish in the woods last year, that would constitute an unreasonable or disproportionate circumstance. This line of reasoning rests on the assumption that law enforcement may have seen Travelle on the night in question. The Walker firm shared a crucial detail on their social media. Police reportedly lost his scent. To lose a scent, you must first be tracking it. Logic dictates that at some point during that track, they must have saw him. Therefore, the Croom family has a right to know the specifics. Who saw Travelle? Better yet, which law enforcement officer was on that path, following Charlotte's son into the night? She has a right to know. I will be following up with more details and continuing this series next week. Please note that I am using a stock photo for the series thumbnail. This is to protect the privacy of the Croom family during this incredibly difficult time. My goal is accuracy. If there are any errors or discrepancies found in this series, please reach out to me via Facebook so I can issue a formal correction immediately. Thank you for helping the Croom family get to the truth. Until next time.